but hours passed. Still no sign. Disappointed, Frank turned to leave, but as he walked past a nearby art gallery, something caught his eye. A painting, familiar brushwork. He looked down at the label. It was David's name in that moment. Frank remembered how David used to say he wanted to be a house painter, but Frank had told him, become a real artist, be someone important. Now, it seemed David had done just that, but Frank wondered, was it David's dream or his? The next morning, a neighbor helped Frank get into the apartment building. He knocked on David's door for a long time. No response. Trying to stay positive, he told himself, David must be out of town. Then he bent down and carefully slid a letter under the door. I wanted to surprise you, but I guess you weren't home. I'll call you soon. Love, Dad. The rough start left Frank feeling low, but he had to stay hopeful, because next he was going to see his eldest daughter on the way. He passed all kinds of travelers, but it was like he lived in his own quiet world. Now he no longer talked to anyone about his kids. After a few days of travel, he found his daughter, Amy, in the backyard of a large, beautiful house. She was on the phone for a second. Frank saw the little girl who used to run to him with open arms. It wasn't his heart. Now, she was a top executive, married to a wealthy man, living a life most people dream of. But when she saw Frank, her smile seemed a bit forced, and when he asked about her husband, she quickly changed the subject. Frank didn't think too much of it. He was too happy to see her and his grandson again. Later that night, the son-in-law came home. He and Amy acted loving in front of Frank, but at dinner, Frank noticed how cold and distant his grandson was toward his own father. At first, Frank brushed it off. Maybe the boy was just being moody. When Frank asked to stay a few extra days, Amy quickly made excuses. She said things were busy and hectic. That made Frank suspicious. And when he tried to take a family photo, both Amy and her son seemed uneasy around the husband. Clearly, there were problems in her marriage. Frank left to let her behind, then quietly moved on. He hoped Janie was happy, but now he wasn't so sure. Next, he went to see his other son, Robert. After several transfers, he finally found the orchestra where his son worked. He pointed at a poster.